That evening changed my life in a way I never could have imagined. After 20 years of marriage, raising two beautiful daughters, and believing I had built a rock-solid relationship, the foundation of my world quietly began to fracture. I'd come home a bit earlier than usual, ready for a peaceful weekend with my wife, not realizing I was walking straight into a storm that would change everything. My name is Bill Miller. At the time, I was 47, a senior partner at a well-established accounting firm. On paper, I had it all: a stable career, a loving family, a picture-perfect home. Lori and I had just celebrated 2 decades of marriage. We'd fallen for each other during our college days and tied the knot shortly after graduation. Like any couple, we'd faced our share of challenges, but I always believed what we had was solid and lasting. We were proud parents of 2 daughters. Kelly, our eldest, had just begun her first semester of college, and Erin, our youngest, was nearing the end of high school. The girls shared a strong bond, always chatting, laughing, and occasionally arguing the way only sisters can. Their presence brought a certain buzz to the house, a kind of joyful noise that made everything feel alive. But when Kelly left for college 6 weeks earlier, a quietness crept into our home, one that seemed to weigh especially heavy on Lori. She became distracted, emotionally detached. I chalked it up to the adjustment period, empty nest syndrome, perhaps. I didn't press her. I thought a quiet weekend together would help bring us back into rhythm. That Friday, with Erin away on a school trip and the house unusually still, I made a spontaneous choice. I left work early, picked up a nice bottle of red wine, and decided to make Lori's favorite dinner. I was hopeful, maybe even excited. But when I pulled into the driveway and saw Lori's car already parked inside the garage, a feeling of unease crept over me. She rarely got home before me on Fridays. I walked through the front door and called out casually, "I'm home." Her voice answered back calmly, but something about her tone didn't sit right. I headed upstairs to our bedroom. The moment I stepped in, something in my chest tightened. She was standing in front of the mirror, carefully putting on makeup. She wore the black dress I had given her last Christmas, and the pearl necklace from our last anniversary. On the bed beside her, a half-packed suitcase lay open. "Trying to keep things light," I joked. "Planning a getaway? Give me 5 minutes. I'll throw some things in too." She didn't smile, didn't even meet my eyes. Then she spoke, voice composed, unwavering. "Bill, I wasn't going to tell you this, but since you're home early, I owe you the truth." No shame, no hesitation, just cold certainty. She told me she was meeting someone over the weekend. It wasn't, in her words, a full-blown affair, just a few casual lunches that had grown into something more emotionally involved. She said she needed time away, time to feel young again, desired, alive. She promised she'd be back by Monday, assured me nothing would change, that everything would go back to normal. I stood frozen. "You think a weekend with another man is going to solve something?" My voice trembled. "It's not about love," she replied softly. "He's married, too. This is just something I need. Like therapy." I didn't argue. I didn't try to stop her. All I asked was that she keep her phone on, just so I'd know she was safe. She nodded. Then came one last request. "Please don't come after me. Don't try to interfere." I gave her my word. Moments later, a car pulled up. She grabbed her bag, walked out the front door, and didn't even look back. And just like that, she was gone. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't even break down. Instead, I picked up my phone and called someone I hadn't spoken to in years, Sarah. Once upon a time, she and I had shared something deep, something real, but I had never allowed it to grow out of loyalty to Lori. That night, I found her number. When she answered, the sound of her voice wrapped around me like comfort, like home. We talked for hours. I told her everything. Lori's emotional retreat, her so-called therapeutic weekend, and how the life I'd built had quietly collapsed beneath me. Sarah listened, without judgment. Then she asked gently, "What do you need, Bill?" I exhaled. "I don't want to be alone tonight. I just need someone to talk to." Without hesitation, she said, "Come over." That evening shifted everything. We didn't rush into anything romantic. We simply sat and talked, really talked. And in that shared space, something began to mend inside me. Through our conversation, I rediscovered the feeling of being truly cared for, something I hadn't felt in a very long time. Lori came home Sunday night. She looked refreshed, almost glowing, and even playful. "See," she said with a smile. "Nothing's changed." But everything had. I looked at her, and for the first time, felt no bitterness. Just clarity. "I'm done," I said quietly. "This marriage is over. I'm not angry. I may even find it in myself to forgive you. But I can't keep living a lie. I'm filing for divorce tomorrow." Her confident expression instantly crumbled. Panic flickered in her eyes. But the decision had already been made. I was finally free from denial. Our separation was handled with dignity. I made sure our daughters understood the situation without poisoning their relationship with their mother. I encouraged them to keep loving her, even though she had made a painful mistake. In time, they adjusted. We all did. Sarah and I took our time. What started as healing turned into something beautiful. We fell in love, real love. A few years later, we got married. We created a home filled with honesty, peace, and warmth. We had 2 wonderful children together. I also embraced the role of father to her son, Jacob, with pride and devotion. That weekend could have shattered me, but instead, it revealed something better. Lori lost a man who would have stood by her forever. I found the woman I was truly meant to share forever with. Sometimes, the deepest heartbreak is what leads us to our truest happiness.